Hi guys, today I am going to share with you some of the top things to do here in Stowe, Vermont. We're currently staying at the Stowehof and it is snowing fiercely outside, and I'm going to share with you some of the fun things to do that have absolutely nothing to do with skiing in the winter. Me and my husband are here on a trip with friends and they're all skiing, but we do not ski. So we are looking for some fun things to do here in Stowe while it's snowing, trying to keep warm, but still trying to find fun things to do. So I hope that you guys enjoy coming along and seeing some of our top things to do here in Stowe, Vermont. If you're new to my channel, my name is Jen and I am a travel agent, and I recently went to Stowe, Vermont with a group of friends who were going really just to go skiing. But me and my husband decided to tag along and explore the town because we've heard so many great things about it. And amazingly, I found 20 things to do while we were there, and I'm going to share them with you today. Okay, number one, the first thing you need to do is go to the visitor center. We stopped at a visitor center along the way, but there is also one, I believe, right on the main street in Stowe, or if not on the main street, somewhere in Stowe. I know I did see a visitor center. So definitely go to the visitor center so you can grab some maps and some guides and just get some information on all of the things that there are to see in the area. So I found that to be most helpful. And when we got back to the hotel, I went through all of the guides and I kind of figured out what I wanted to do. Another thing, once you get into Stowe, stop at PK Coffee. It is this quaint little coffee shop that makes the most amazing coffees, and especially if you like specialty coffees, they had a really nice variety, and it's just a really cute shop with a great staff. Number three, go to the Stowehof. That is where we stayed. The Stowehof is such a charming resort. It has the most amazing views, and what I really loved most about it was its quirky personality. It had all of these little nooks and crannies, and it was just so unique. You can check out my previous video where I shared a tour of the Stowehof, and I've also shared lots of vlogs on this trip. So go ahead and check those out as well if you want to see more of this really, really cool hotel that we stayed at. Number four, go check out the Matterhorn. The Matterhorn is a restaurant that has such a great selection of local beers on tap, but it also has a really great menu and a really, really upbeat environment. There was lots of music going on and there were a lot of people. And if you're just looking to have a good time and some great drinks and a really, really good meal, totally check out the Matterhorn. They were reasonably priced, and I was so happy that we were able to go there on the first night of our stay. Number five, check out Picasso Pizza. This is supposed to be one of the best pizza places in the area, and it definitely had great pizza. We are from New Jersey, and New York pizza, I have to say, in my experience, is really the best. But I still think that Picasso was pretty darn good, and we actually ended up getting takeout from there another night of our stay. So we really enjoyed it, and so did our friends. Totally check it out. Number five, go to Stowe Cider and do a tasting. Stowe Cider offers various different types of hard cider, and you can do a flight and taste a bunch of different types of cider. My favorite was the gummy bear, and then they had an apple pie cider, which was really, really delicious. I actually grabbed a large can of it to bring home with me. But my favorite thing there, and especially if you are going to Vermont in the autumn or in the winter, you need to get their mulled hot cider. They use this maple infused bourbon, and it is so good. I cannot even say enough about it. It was my favorite thing that I tried in Vermont. Number seven, go to the Stowe Maple Products store. This is a very small store, and they sell maple products. And this is where I picked up my Vermont maple syrup because obviously you cannot take a trip to Vermont and not come home with some Vermont maple syrup. So that was a must do for us. And I have to say, it is delicious. I picked some up for my mom as well, and we are all enjoying that maple syrup. Number 8, check out Cold Hollow Cider Mill. And the reason you need to go here is you can see them making their homemade apple cider donuts. Try to get them when they're hot because that is just so delicious. We took a dozen to go. They were really good, and they also had a little tasting area where you could go ahead and taste their freshly pressed apple cider. So that's something that's a lot of fun to do as well. Number 9, go for a ride. Just drive around Stowe because it offers the most beautiful atmosphere. There were snowy mountains, and obviously while we were there it was snowing, so everything was just covered in ice and snow, and it just sparkled, and it really felt like I was in this beautiful magical world. So definitely take a drive and just check out the atmosphere around you because it is so beautiful. Number 10, check out Vermont Artisan Coffee and Tea. This is an enormous building, and they brew, again, the most delicious coffee. And at this shop you're also able to bring home whole coffee beans, which we are still enjoying right now. I actually think I might be placing an order because the coffee beans there are so good and well worth buying a bag to take home. They also sell teas, so if you're a tea drinker, you can check out what they have as well for that. But I really think that they have some great coffee that you can bring home and enjoy after your trip. That's always fun to do. Number 11, go to the Trapp Family Lodge. If you're not familiar with this, this is where the Von Trapp family, who is featured in The Sound of Music, moved to after they left Austria. And it's just a really beautiful resort, and you can actually rent out rooms there. They have many different kind of like little bungalows all over this very large property, and you can go and hear about the history of the Von Trapp family and about Maria. They have an area where you go into a room and they give you a historical talk. There is a gift shop that you can go to, so that's something really fun to do. While you're there, number 12, you might want to check out their snowshoeing. They actually have an outdoor area where you can rent all types of supplies, and one of the things that I decided to try to do was snowshoeing. I knew I had no interest in skiing, but this was something I was totally capable of, and it was a lot of fun because when you take the trail, by the way, we took the shortest trail on the map, you go through the woods and it's so pretty. I took so many beautiful pictures and video. On the walk back, we took a different way and we saw farm animals and just really beautiful views of the mountains. So I really think it's a great way to just take in all of the beauty that Vermont has to offer by trekking through the snow. Number 13, what we did was we snowshoed to Beer Hall, which is also on the Trapp Family Lodge area. They have this big restaurant where they actually make their own beer, which is very good. And they have really great like German food, Austrian food. So we had a great time going to Beer Hall as well and having some beer and pretzels and just taking a break until we had to put on those snowshoes again and trek back to the lodge. Number 14, go to the Skinny Pancake. The Skinny Pancake is more of a creperie shop, and they have really great crepes, really good breakfasts. Definitely make a reservation because they do tend to get very crowded, especially if you're going during the morning rush, which we were. And the very unique thing about this restaurant was it was completely contactless, contact-free. You really did not speak with anyone. You ordered everything from their app, and the only time you see a waiter or a waitress is when they bring it out to you. And even if you wanted soft serve drinks such as water or soda or juice, you would go up and get it yourself. I had an amazing hot cocoa there, and they put a whole bunch of whipped cream on top, which I really appreciate. And me and my husband had a very hearty breakfast with the Skinny Pancake crepes and lots of Vermont maple syrup on top. So definitely a fun place to go. Number 15, check out the Gold Brook Covered Bridge, also known as Emily's Bridge. And supposedly the bridge is haunted. There was a girl named Emily, and I believe she was meeting up with the man that she was going to marry one night under the bridge. I think they were going to elope or something, and he never showed up. And the story goes that she hung herself and to this day haunts the bridge. I really think this was the inspiration for the movie The Corpse Bride by Tim Burton, which is one of my favorite movies because the Corpse Bride's name is Emily and the story is very similar. So I don't know, could be, but that's my thought on that. Number 16, go to Smugglers Notch Distillery because that is where you can get the maple infused rum, or not rum, bourbon, to make that mulled apple cider. So that was a must do for us. We had to go ahead and find that bourbon so that when we got home, we would have the opportunity to make the amazing mulled cider that we had the previous day. All right, guys, we're almost at the end. There are 3 more left. Number 18, go to Cabot Cheese, which is very conveniently located right next to Smugglers Notch Distillery. And at Cabot Cheese, you can get a lot of delicious Vermont cheese. I brought home so many blocks of cheese. I am still enjoying them. And if you are a cheese lover, definitely go ahead and check out Cabot's Cheese Factory. It's really big. They give you free samples when you purchase something, or they did at the time that I was there. And I'm really happy that I got to bring home a bunch of Vermont cheese. Number 19, take time to sit fireside, enjoy something warm to drink or a glass of wine, and just enjoy those winter vibes. And I have to share this with you guys because this was one of my favorite things that I did during our trip at our resort, was to sit by the fire and just relax and take in all of the views. Our hotel had amazing views of the mountains and everything was snow covered. So just sitting by the fire and drinking a cup of coffee and looking out of the window to the falling snow and the beautiful snow covered mountains, it was just perfection. So no matter what time of year you are traveling, just take that moment to sit and relax and just enjoy where you're at. Okay, finally, number 20. This was the last thing that I did on the trip, and it was my most favorite thing that we did on the trip, or one of them, and that is to go and check out Ben and Jerry's ice cream factory. This is where they make Ben and Jerry's ice cream. How could you not go check that out? And one of the really cool things that they have there is the flavor graveyard. And this is where they actually have a real cemetery, and the cemetery houses all of the discontinued ice creams that they have had in the past. And it also has the date that they put the ice cream out on the market, and it has the date when the ice cream was no longer. And it's just so much fun. We really had to trek through the snow to get there. They did not have a clean path over to the cemetery, but we were able to still get through the snow and get over to the cemetery and check that out. So that was so much fun to do, and it's really fun to read all of the tombstones because they are pretty silly. And of course, you can go and get yourself some Ben & Jerry's ice cream, which we ended up getting ice cream for everyone in my family. I brought home ice cream for the kids. I usually bring something back from our trips, and I just thought this was the perfect thing. They agreed. They were really excited with us bringing home ice cream. Luckily, the temperature was in the negative most of the time we were there, so the ice cream did just fine. in the back of our truck. But also, if you go at another time, after COVID possibly, they do have ice cream factory tours where you can tour the factory and see how they make the ice cream and get like an ice cream sample at the end. So that's really what I was hoping to do, and then I came to find out that they were not doing it right now because of COVID, but that would be fun to do as well. So I hope that you guys enjoyed coming along as we explored some of the fun things to do here in Stowe that have nothing to do with skiing or ice skating or any of the cold weather stuff, but it really has been a lot of fun, and I love this atmosphere. It's just so pretty. It feels like being in a snow globe. So I really hope that you guys had fun joining in, and I will see you all next time. Take care. Bye.